So welcome once again to Lencioni's model for teamwork and collaboration. Let me start by asking all of you, why is teamwork important? Why is collaboration important? Why is teamwork and collaboration important?
For synergy,
For synergy, what else?
efficiency,
Efficiency?
and efficiency, yeah. Efficiency,
Efficiency?
synergy, yeah, efficiency, yeah.
How?
Effectiveness.
Effectiveness? Yeah, especially in places where there's no teamwork, where there's a lot of friction, where people are not able to get along with each other. Atmosphere can be very suffocating, can be very difficult to go and then work in a place where there's a lot of friction, there's a lot of conflict and unhealthy conflicts. So it's very hard to communicate with each other, very hard to collaborate with each other. So what happens? Efficiency goes for a toss, effectiveness goes for a toss, there's no synergy, people are not getting along with each other. Right, so artificially you might say, hi, how are you, thank you, I'm good, but inside there's a lot of uncomfortable feelings. And a lot of organizations, it's very hard to go and say hi to people whom we work with every day, because so many friction, unresolved conflicts. So where there's teamwork and collaboration, what happens? Efficiency is there, effectiveness is there. No, it contributes to overall synergy and well-being. What else?
Growth of a company and individuals.
Growth of the company and the individuals. So growth of the individuals and the organization.
Faster goal achievement.
Faster goal achievement. Yeah, another very important element is in sense of there's a sense of satisfaction. At the end of the day, we feel good, right? Teamwork
Yes.
gives us a sense of a feel good factor,
Fulfillment, yeah.
a feel good factor, a sense of fulfillment. What else? How teamwork and collaboration can help?
Improved productivity.
Excellent. One of the most important direct benefit is when people collaborate, they work as a team, there's an improved productivity. Anything else?
Greater creativity.
Greater creativity, especially collaboration, can bring a lot of creativity because you're interacting with others. So we have a way of thinking, someone challenges our way of thinking, and then we come up with a different ideas. The other person comes up with different ideas, leads to innovation.
It helps the
Problem
team to
solving.
it helps the
Problem
team
solving.
to stay
Problem
agile.
solving.
Sorry. It helps the team to stay agile.
Yes.
It helps to help the team to stay agile.
Yeah, helps the team to stay agile, helps the team to stay alive.
Agile.
Agile.
Agility. Yeah, agile.
Yeah.
Accepting changes.
Accepting
very
changes.
very
Change
quickly.
management becomes easy because the
Yes.
whole team is moving together, right? The whole team supports each other. So change management becomes a success. Change management becomes easier. So helps in change management. Anything else?
Reduce conflicts.
Yeah, so reduced unhealthy conflicts because we will see that what is healthy and unhealthy conflict in today's model. So whether it is at home where the entire family comes together, works together, collaborate together, right? There's a sense of synergy at home with your children, with your spouse, with your parents. There's a synergy. Or whether it is you're going for a picnic or you're going for some outing with your friends, and there's a sense of synergy, there's a sense of togetherness. Or at workplace, we human beings, there's
Better
a
communication.
better
Communication.
better communication. Where there's a team spirit, you are able to communicate, right, which leads to a better understanding, which in turn helps in productivity, helps in efficiency, helps in problem solving. So this is something that is so much needed, but at the same time, a lot of teams, they lack this sense of synergy. Go back to PPT. So Patrick Lencioni is a guru in terms of teamwork, in terms of collaboration, and he is considered the master of the subject. And he came up with a model through his deep research and thought process. And I'll take you through this model, Patrick Lencioni's model for teamwork and collaboration, and how we can overcome some of the key dysfunctions within a team and build team spirit and build a great team that can achieve excellence, that can come together and experience synergy. So that's the focus. It has 5 levels. So before I introduce the model, I would like to start with a Patrick Lencioni's quote. Syed, is it okay? Can you just read this quote?
Teamwork, not finance, not strategy, not technology. It is teamwork that remains the ultimate competitive advantage, both because it's so powerful and so rare. Patrick Lencioni.
Yeah, so excellently he put it across. It is not finance, it's not strategy, it's not technology, it's teamwork. And it remains the ultimate competitive advantage. Even investors, they first see the team, how well the team is formed, how well they have a sense of togetherness, their team spirit, how they connect to each other. So investors, one of the most important priorities for them to assess the team is their teamwork, right? Is the team right? Because when the team is right, a lot of things fall in place. Finance can be raised, you can raise funds, you can come up with strategies. And sometimes when the market changes, you can change your strategies, but the team spirit is one of the most foundational element for organizational success. Another quote of Patrick Lencioni: if you get all the people in an organization rowing in the same direction, you could dominate any industry, any market against any competition at any time. So that how powerful teamwork is. It brings out the best in us. So each individual is able to tap into their full potential when they are in an atmosphere where they feel valued, where they feel connected to each other. So it creates a very wonderful work atmosphere, and we are inspired to give our best. So that powerful teamwork is the foundation for success. And none of us can achieve anything all alone, right? You see everything, whether it's a bridge, whether it's launching a satellite into space, whether it is running a restaurant, or whether even a team of doctors doing a surgery. No one can do anything alone. We achieve greatness not alone. A lot of people come together and we achieve greatness. So one of the strength of human being is that we come together, work as a team, and that's one of our greatness. So it is a team that creates great, extraordinary results. So this is the Lencioni's model. There are 5 dysfunctions within a team, and this can completely derail a team. So when these dysfunctions are there, the team is not able to give their best, and there's a lot of ill will, ill feelings, and there's a derailment from results. So one is absence of trust, fear of conflict, lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability, inattention to results. So I'll take you through each of these dysfunctions and how to overcome these dysfunctions as per Lencioni. So first, going into trust, let me use a whiteboard. What happens when there is lack of trust? Yes.
The speed reduces.
Yes.
Speed reduces.
Speed reduces.
Lack of clarity.
Yes, Giri. Welcome to see you. Happy to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. So lack of clarity also.
Lack of
Clarity.
Lack of clarity, yes. Speed reduces when
Yes.
there's a lack of trust. See, when we see a stranger, we don't trust the stranger, so everything we take with a pinch of salt, and we are not ready to just trust that stranger and now do a business deal or work at a personal level, because that other person is just a stranger, so we are not able to trust that person. So similarly, sometimes because of certain experiences in our past, etc., there's a lack of trust. And when a team is not able to trust each other, speed reduces, lack of clarity, anything else.
Authenticity reduces.
Authenticity reduces. And because authenticity reduces, we probably say politically correct statements, but inside we are not happy, right? We don't feel free. When authenticity reduces, we don't feel free to communicate.
Interpersonal relations hamper.
Interpersonal relationship goes for a toss,
Productivity goes down.
and productivity goes down.
Quality of work goes down.
Quality of work goes down.
More micromanagements will happen.
Yeah. A lot of micromanagement will happen in order to get things done because you're not able to trust each other. So sometimes if you're in a position of authority, you might go into strategy of micromanagement, and it's uncomfortable. When you
There
are
will be
yeah,
Lot of internal grudge will be there.
yeah, internal uh, strife or internal misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding, yes.
there will be conflicts.
Yeah, unresolved conflicts.
There will be no second level leaders.
Yeah. So unresolved conflict, no second level leaders, nobody is going to take charge, no second
High
level
attrition.
leader. That is something that because I've been going to various organizations, and some organization they have a very low level of attrition, and some organization very high level of attrition. Right? People are just resigning. There's one factory that I went where they go and recruit some 200 peoples and from various educational institution, and after 6 months, hardly 4 5 stays. Everybody else resigns, so attrition is that high. So imagine the cost when attrition is that high. Because when you don't feel comfortable, you feel suffocated, where there's a lack of trust in each other. So everything is seen with a sense of suspicion. Why is this person doing this? What is this person's motive? Imagine two couples not able to trust each other in marriage. How difficult that marriage is. Every time you have to prove yourself, every time you have to present an evidence, and still the other person is not convinced. So when trust is gone, it's very uncomfortable to communicate. It's very uncomfortable to get along. And even if the other person says the right thing, you are still not able to accept that. You may still feel that the other person has some negative motive behind it, right? This person is against me. You may see each other as enemy images. So it's very hard to work in a place where there's lack of trust. Even within our family, if the trust is gone, it's very difficult to be in that atmosphere where there's a lack of trust. So trust is the most foundational element, where you don't have to prove every time you say something, you don't have to prove it, because people trust each other, right? So when you go to a doctor, we are able to trust the doctor, then we are relaxed. We relax. Okay, I can trust this doctor, and we follow the advice of the doctor. But if you don't trust a doctor, we may not want to follow the prescription. We may have our own suspicion, and the whole relationship is like very painful. So lack of
Nowadays,
trust.
even doctors are not trusted. Second opinion, third opinion.
Yeah, yes. So if you don't trust the doctor, you will go for second opinion, third opinion, right? And sometimes you might meet a doctor and you're able to trust that doctor, and then you start following the
Google is a doctor.
yes. So lack of trust can make life a lot difficult. So especially at workplace, If team members do not trust each other, they are unlikely to take risk and ask for help, right? If I take this risk, if I try something new, what will happen? So they are not bold. They would rather follow the bureaucracy. They will follow the process. I don't want to take any risk. I don't want to innovate. I don't want to come up with any creative ideas. I'll just play safe, right? I'll say the safe things. I'll not open up and share my thoughts and feelings. I'll just go with the yes culture. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will not ask for help. So when lack of trust is there, innovation goes for a toss and we don't ask for help from each other. A lack of trust means low level of comfort that makes difficult to communicate and perform effectively as a team. Even when we communicate, we have to think a lot. Should I say this? Should I not say this? So there's no, like when you communicate to a close friend, you can just relax, right? You can just relax and communicate. You're not worried about, should I speak this? Should I not speak this? So you're very comfortable to share to a close friend because you trust. There's a sense of trust between both of you. So there is a
That's
second.
why,
Yes,
sir, that's why every community is having buddy groups.
yeah. So first dysfunction is a lack of trust, right? You can see in this model, absence of trust. The second dysfunction is fear of conflict. What is fear of conflict? Can anyone say? Because a lot of people see conflict as something very negative, right? But Patrick Lencioni says that conflict is desirable. It's needed.
Difference of opinions.
Yes. So I mean, if my fingerprint is my fingerprints and other person's fingerprint is another person's fingerprint, right? So we are all different. We have different preferences, different perspectives, different ideas, and this is natural, right? So you should understand that a conflict is, because some of us, we think of conflict as shouting at each other. No, conflict is sometimes you have a different preference, another person has a different strategy. Okay, so there's a son and there's a mother.
Clash of interest.
Yeah, clash of idea. So they both want to go for dinner and son likes to go have a pizza. Right? Mother say she prefers Chinese. Right? Now, if the son is going alone, there's no problem. Or if he's going with his friends to have a pizza, there's no problem. If the mother is going alone or with her friends or with father and they're going to a Chinese restaurant, there's no problem there. Right? Both can have what they like. But when both of them have to come together, right, and they go for a dinner together, and the son says, "Let's go to a pizza shop," and the mother does not like pizza, right? He does not like it at all, and the son does not like Chinese, right? So where to go? This is a real problem now, and they want to go dinner together, right? They want to go dinner together, but different preferences. Different preferences, right? Is this kind of things natural or this kind of different preferences is unnatural?
Natural.
Natural.
This is quite natural because we human beings, just like our fingerprints are different, our preferences are different, our thought process is different, people will have different views. And in a team, it is very natural for people to have different preferences. And when we have to work together, and one person says, let's do this way, another person says, let's do it another way, there is a conflict. And this is natural, right? I mean, what happens in most of the places is that you suppress this natural differences. And when you suppress these natural differences by saying, don't say negative, right? So say, assuming that the son is taught to be obedient and not to express his view, right? The mother is senior and the mother says, let's go to Chinese. And the son says, yes, mom, right? Then what happens? If you suppress these differences, what happens?
It will accumulate and burst one day.
It will accumulate and burst one day because the other person is not happy. The other person was not even allowed to share their thought process. right? So what happens, a way of dealing with conflict is that you suppress um, a person or a group's preferences or their viewpoints. Like in patriarchy, even in India, there are still places where patriarchy is still practiced. So where men take all the decisions. So whose voices are suppressed in a patriarchy? Yeah.
Well, sir, actually 80% of the conflict we solve by every day during lunch.
Yeah.
We eat together with the employees. At that time, we will have a very good conversation with so many things. The 80% of the conflicts will be overcome there. In family also, when we have the dinner is the right time to solve all the conflicts.
So we agree we'll go into how to overcome these dysfunctions. In patriarchal setup where men dominates, whose voices get suppressed? And yesterday was Women's Day. Whose voices get suppressed? Yes.
Woman, sir.
Yeah. So Suganya has said in the chat box, a woman's voice is suppressed. And does that create a healthy teamwork? Does that create when you suppress another voice? In a lot of organization, based on hierarchy, you suppress the voices of team members, and whoever is holding the higher authority, their views are expressed, but others' views are suppressed, right? So when you suppress, you create an artificial environment that everybody is in line, right? You create an artificial harmony when you suppress the emotions, when you suppress the thought process. Okay, so here we have seen son and mother have two different things. One is not even allowed to express and just is supposed to follow the other person. Then what happens is it gets bottled up because I was not even allowed to express my preferences. And at one stage, it can burst out. And in some organization, the bursting out happens because of sometimes we lose our temper. In most of the cases nowadays, it happens in the form of attrition. People just resign and go, say that my thoughts are not valued, I cannot express, and people resign and go because you're not allowed to, you're not even allowed to express your thoughts. So conflicts are when you have different strategies, you have different viewpoints, you want to do in a certain way, another person wants to do in a certain way, and there is healthier way to resolve that. So but suppressing that and creating an artificial harmony is not something that helps in the long run, right? That is the second
Manas,
dysfunction.
that's why we are having so many K areas because each and every work split into 3 to 5 K areas. Definitely, there will be very high productivity in 1 or 2 K areas.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah. So that's a fear of conflict because where you start suppressing the voices, you are scared to go and open up, right? You are scared to open up. You just want to say the right things. And when such an atmosphere is there, there's a lack of teamwork. There's a lack of team spirit. Okay, that's the second dysfunction. Lack of commitment. What do you understand by the word commitment? Anybody? What do you understand by the word commitment?
Never give up at any stage.
Yeah, yes, Swarnalata?
Accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah, never give up at any stage. When you take up a job, you just go through whatever the challenges and overcome it until the goal is achieved.
Yeah. So in relationship, one of the most favorite word that when relationship becomes like we use the word I'm committed. I'm committed to this person, right? When we use the word interest, it's like I'm interested to paint. I am interested to pursue IAS office, IAS exam. So when we say I'm interested to do something, it shows you are interested, but it is not a high level of commitment. Is you don't give excuses. Like when you have interest, you might say, okay, when time permits, I'll do it. But a level of commitment is that no excuses. There's a deep level of discipline, there's a deep level of commitment to get things done, right? To achieve what you are going. So your whole body, mind is is saying that, yes, this needs to be done. You want to do it. Okay, so that is a sense of commitment. And it allows you to achieve, it allows you to be highly productive because there's a sense of commitment. You are not swayed by good mood, bad mood. You're not swayed by, okay, today weather is bad, or that person did spoil my mood. These excuses you don't come up with. There's a high level of commitment. And when a team lacks a level of commitment, that is another dysfunction, which one needs to overcome. The fourth one is avoidance of accountability. Accountability is taking achieve. If you have taken something, you keep your word. You are responsible. You take up responsibility to complete a task that you have agreed upon. So you have a high level of commitment, and that enables you to complete that task. And in case if you are not able to do that, you are willing to apologize. You're willing to look at, okay, what went wrong, learn from it, and then deliver. Right? So it is not like going into blame game. Accountability is also another very important factor. And today we will see some of the ways we can build accountability. And the last one is inattention to result. If team members have their own personal goals, etc., and the team is not committed, like Indian cricket team or any cricket team, if they have their own personal agendas and they are not committed to the team's outcome, then the team will not succeed because each member has different viewpoints. I mean, different interests. They are pursuing something else, and the team will suffer from success, lack of success. So that this is a model, Lencioni's model, absence of trust. So what we need to do is to create trust, fear of conflict. We have to turn into wanting some conflict because we need to have different ideas. It leads to innovation. It leads to better understanding. Lack of commitment to commitment, avoidance of accountability to accountability, and inattention to result. That's where we want to pull it up. So we will see each of these 5 elements, how to build trust, how to have healthy conflict, how to raise and build commitment, how to build accountability, and how to focus on result as a team. Okay. So building trust. So can you suggest some ways we can build trust? If you are a team leader and if you want to create a team that trusts each other, what can you do?
Walk the talk.
How to build trust? Yes.
Walk the talk.
Empathetic, empathy,
Which one?
empathetic, empathy.
Okay. So let me say empathy, listening to each other, and understanding each other.
Transparent communication.
Transparent communication.
Walking the talk.
So I can add that authentic communication. Authentic communications, because what happens is that if you're lying to each other, if you are putting a mask, etc., and not being authentic, not being honest, not being transparent, then trust is very difficult. How can you trust someone who's been lying, who's been telling things which does not mean? It's very difficult to trust a person who is saying things that the person does not mean. Even if the other person is appreciating you, you like, what do you want? Right? Because there's a lack of trust. So one of the things is that we want the team to be transparent, be authentic. So what stops us from being transparent? Why do we have to lie?
What is
Fear of rejection.
Fear of rejection, excellent. Because we are not transparent, because if we are transparent, then the other person will reject us, right? There are negative consequences of being transparent. So fear of rejection.
What is in it to win it?
Yes. Anything else? Why are we not transparent? What stops us from being transparent, being honest? So fear of rejection, fear of ridicule,
Fear of failure.
fear.
The person itself might not have the integrity.
Which one?
The person might not have an integrity of
Yeah,
his
based
values.
on past experiences, right?
Yes.
Based on past experience, the person is scared to open up because in the past, the person opened up and it had very negative consequences, right? Based on past experiences, that is at a personal level, right? So fear
of business, they will start.
Yeah.
Fear of business, like us, they will start.
Fear of?
Fear of business. Sometimes they will copy our model and they will start the business like that.
Yeah, yeah. So if you are transparent, the other person will copy your idea. Other person will copy your ideas. Of course, within the team needs to be open to each other. Outside competitors, you don't have to reveal your what you're doing, right? So the other person will copy your idea. The other person will become more knowledgeable. So I will be irrelevant. So I will lose my job. So I have to keep all the knowledge to myself. I might get rejected if I say something about it, right? So it is important that you create a psychological safety, because in psychotherapy, in counseling, in coaching, we create a safe atmosphere for the other person to open up, right? We don't want an artificial environment where people say the right things. We want people to be genuine and really open up. So for this, you need to create a psychological safety, right? So if the team can do that, and if a team leader can create an environment where people are encouraged to be transparent, authentic, open, that team can then communicate honestly, right? And transparent and authentic communication is what creates trust. It is very important foundation of trust that you tell the truth. You don't lie. You don't say something because if you say that, that is how um, artificially say something because that is the politically the right statement. So that kind of an atmosphere, you won't have a genuine relationship. You will not be able to trust each other because everybody is saying things, politically correct things, but nobody is really honest. So that will not allow us to build trust. Okay, so empathy and listening to each other, where if somebody is sharing something, you listen to that, you create an atmosphere where everyone, when they share, the other members listen to that. Okay, there's a respect to what the other person is sharing, and transparent, authentic communication. Anything else that can build trust? Yes, Dilip?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm repeating the same question which I had asked you earlier. This doesn't happen in the corporate. I have seen it because I have worked in two corporates for donkey years and all. But you speak to them, whatever, because I was on a various levels and all. And then they take up the point, they note in their diary and all. And over a period of time, on that point, they hit you.
Yeah, yeah.
Very few people I have seen it, they start working on that point.
Yeah, yeah.
Why did you say that? Why
leadership?
did you?
About the
Leadership. Leadership. On leaders, particularly when you talk with the subordinates and all, instead of correcting that thing and all, they perceive that it is they are this thing and all. Howsoever they are wrong, they will hit you very badly.
Yeah. So that kind of an atmosphere you don't want to open up because they take your points to attack you, right? So once that kind of an atmosphere is there, others also learn for it, and it is like punished for being transparent.
Yeah, punish for being honest.
Yeah, punished for being transparent, punished for being honest, punished for being.
Because I still remember I had given an open suggestion that this product is not working and all, this needs a quality improvement and all. Then you were giving a negative message to the team and all, everything and all. We should not have spoken this, that and all. And I was taken on a tough task. Why did you say that and all? Yeah.
Yeah. So there are
So
Yeah, so Dilip, there are atmosphere that gets created, and that's where the team spirit is. That's a dysfunction that gets created, where you're punished for being transparent, you're punished for being honest, right? But say, for example, if you were to give some ideas to say Ratan Tata, he will be quite open to it. If you were to give some ideas to Thomas Alva Edison, he will be quite open to it. So there are lots of teams where there are healthy team spirits. There are a lot of families where there are healthy transparent communication that happens, and there are lots of places which is not, right? So these places, people are very open, they give open feedback, they are transparent, they are authentic, but they don't get very personal. Okay, that's an unhealthy conflict. But being authentic and transparent, there are organizations which has that atmosphere, and there are organizations which does not have that. So if you are a leader, if you are an entrepreneur, you are building a team, so you don't want to create an artificial environment which will stifle team spirit. You want to create an environment that is transparent, where people are able to express themselves. And it has a lot of benefits because that's important for synergy to happen. You don't want even in family, you don't want your children to just artificially say everything is okay. You don't want your spouse to say artificially, yeah, 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 you are the best, etc. And they never bring up their real concerns. And so nobody actually really communicates to each other. That family will also experience a severe form of dysfunction, right? Over a period of time, it leads to divorce. It leads to your son and daughter not talking to you, because authenticity and transparency is absolutely essential for trust, and trust is essential for both at a workplace productivity as well as for a long-term relationship, because the relationship itself will collapse if there is no trust. So so I'll so trust is a very important element. How do you build trust, right? If you are building a team, right? I'll go back to the PowerPoint. If you're building a team, you don't want to be in that place where you don't allow people to speak up. So team members show a lack of trust when they hold grudges, don't ask for help, hide their mistake, find ways to avoid spending time together. Imagine a father and a son does not have trust with each other. Both are not comfortable with each other, and they want to avoid spending time together. They don't feel comfortable spending time together. And even when they spend time together, they are not really open about their problems. They will say artificially everything is positive things, right? Positive, but those positive things are just made up. It's just an artificial mask they are wearing. Because the son thinks, I cannot open up my problems to my father. He's going to scream, he's going to shout. So I don't feel safe to open up my problems to my father. The father also never opens up his vulnerability, his problem to his son. He thinks he's the authority. He has to project a strong picture. So he never opens up to his son. So their relationship is never good, right? It's just an artificial relationship where when you're forced to communicate to each other, you communicate. Otherwise, you just stay away, right? Even sometimes both may be staying in the same room, same house, but the son never communicates unless it is required to father, and the father never communicates unless it is required to the son. So there's no relationship, there's no sense of synergy, there's no sense of connection. And same thing can happen at a workplace. Everyone is saying politically the correct things, nobody feels comfortable, right? It's very suffocating environment. And after you have had enough, you will look, let me go to another organization, let me resign and go. So it is very important that we create an environment where people are. So in the name of transparency, we don't want people to go into personal attacks, right? But different ideas can be expressed. So first, we want to create a sense of psychological safety, encourage open discussion, active listening, respond to mistakes as learning opportunities. So when people make mistakes, if you go after them, with a stick, want to punish them very badly, then they will not like to admit mistakes. Okay, so yes, there are people who are intentionally committing fraud, etc. That has to be dealt in a different way. But professionals, no matter how experienced we are, we do make mistakes. And psychological safety is that, yes, You acknowledge your mistakes, you learn from it, and your team supports you, right? Not that everyone punishes you for making a mistake. So you feel safe. It's like a child is learning to walk and the child falls down or something. There is always this parent who says, who adults who are around the child says that we are here to support you. You're trying to walk, be bold. Okay, something happens, we are there. So when you have the support, a lot of people say that I'm able to take this risk and start my own business because I have the support of my family. Right? So you are able to take risk because you have the support of another person or your family or your team. So similarly, it's important that we support the person who's made a mistake and wants to correct himself, wants to get things right. Okay, so that's very important that your team supports you when things are not going well. And we should acknowledge diverse perspectives, right? Create an inclusive space for all voices. So diverse perspectives is something that should be encouraged, and we should not get triggered by that. Let me go into a whiteboard. So diverse perspective, sometimes use the word multiple perspective. In NLP, we use the word NLP perceptual position. So or we can say different viewpoints. Different viewpoints, right? So these perspectives are okay, right? We should encourage everyone to share their perspectives, and later on we can figure out how to select the best possible approach. But people should be able to share their perspective. If you were to build a house, right? I want to listen to a few perspectives. If you were to build a home for yourself, what kind of a house or a home that you want to construct, right? Can a few of you give your ideas, your viewpoints? If you want to construct a house, you want to construct a home.
Contacting the architect first.
Yeah. So what kind of a house the architect is asking? What kind of a house do you want? Like a Spanish type, or do you want a traditional type design? Any ideas about how would you like your house to be, your home to be? Yeah. Rohan, Rajkumar, Vinod, Sumanya, Dixit, Ram, Nazreen, Ajay, Arun, Sunil, Kamal. How would you want your house to be?
A house which has a garden and all
Okay, so
in
here
front of this.
a house which is very important needs to have a garden, right? Okay, another person, how would you like your house to be? How would you want your dream home to be? Assuming there are no severe limits to your funds.
Finance.
Which one?
Assuming that there is no finance issue.
Yeah. How would you want it?
Then there has to be some swimming pool.
Okay, so you want a house which has a swimming pool.
Correct.
Okay, anybody else?
Lot of natural ventilation.
Lot of natural ventilation has to be there. Anybody else?
Very spacious.
It has to be very spacious. Anybody else? What kind of a home you want?
The house should be with the 5-element concept.
Okay, that 5-element, the air, earth, those 5-element concept, it should be aligned with. So
Every house should have rainwater harvesting, renewable energy, bioseptic tank, garden, and green building.
Yeah, so some of you may want Vastu Shastra to be aligned with Vastu Shastra, etc. 5 elements concept. Anybody else?
Enough space for pet animals.
Okay, there has to be enough space for pet animals. Right?
The house should have all the people
place for
you love.
meditation.
Yes.
Harmony and peace.
Yeah, of course. At a physical structure, how you want to be.
Okay. The house should have a place for all the loved ones.
A space for?
All the loved ones that you want around.
Okay, maybe a large drawing room. A large drawing room, right? Where everybody can sit and communicate. Some of you may want a large bedroom. Some of you may want a large drawing room. Some of you may want a space for gym, exercise, etc., or a meditation room, etc. So you have lots of perspectives, lots of ideas, and different ideas. Now,
Large kitchen. Large
Big
kitchen.
library. Big library.
okay, a big library. You want a big library, right? So what happens is now we are not going to fight with each other. We are sharing different ideas. So why we are not going to fight with each other?
We are not committed.
No, we are not building a house together, right?
Yeah, and initially you said
It
there is
doesn't
no
bring any
limitation.
loss.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
there is no limitation.
Yeah, there is no limitation. But suppose if all of you who shared the idea and you're creating a house together and you're going to live together, so one of you may say swimming pool and the other person may not like the swimming pool, right? Saying that
Yeah.
is unnecessary cost. One of you may want pet animals, another person may not like pet animals. Those are conflict and those are natural conflict. So in a conflict, the most important thing is first you should share your viewpoint. You cannot suppress your viewpoint. These conflicts are natural, it should be welcomed, and these conflicts can be talked, and we can sit and talk and resolve this conflict and find a way out. Right? For us to resolve and solve a problem, right? Some people may want 5 elements, some people believe in Vastu Shastra, some people don't believe in Vastu Shastra, some people may want a big library, but maybe your spouse wants a big puja room, right? So there are differences of opinions, and these differences of opinion have to be allowed to express itself. You cannot suppress these viewpoints if you're building a house together. Right?
Assertive.
Yeah, so you need to first and foremost is don't suppress another person and say, I will only decide the house, but there are 4 people who are going to live there, right? So we suppress other people's voices and one person says, I will decide everything. I am the lord of the house. So similarly, in corporate also, people have different ideas how to execute project, how to marketing strategies. There are various ideas. These ideas needs to be acknowledged. All the ideas cannot be implemented. We can select the best ideas, and there are ways to select the best ideas, which is good for the people, good for the organization, good for the customer. But the most important thing is we should not suppress this expression of various ideas. They are different from your ideas and does not mean that you suppress them, right? So that's why Patrick Lencioni says that conflicts are natural. It is needed, right? Suppressing of this conflict and creating an artificial harmony is not healthy for team spirit. It is very natural that 2 people have different ideas and that can be discussed and resolved, right?
Don't suppress, be express and impress.
Yes. Instead of suppressing, we should create an environment where people are able to express. That will lead to transparency. No, you don't put on a mask. You are allowed to express. And just because a person has expressed does not mean that, and you understand point, does not mean that the other person's idea will be implemented and your idea will not be implemented. No, you can create a process so that the best idea comes out. But it's important to create a sense of transparency and authenticity, right? When people are able to express, they feel good about it. At least their ideas have been heard. Okay, they are able to speak out. Okay, so especially Patrick Lencioni speaks about authentic vulnerability. Vulnerability is that you are not only able to express your ideas, you are also be able to express your weakness. You are able to express when you make a mistake. You are able to tell the team. There are children who are so scared to tell when they get low marks or when they get some negative points in the school. They are so scared to go and tell the parents. Right. Similarly, in a lot of organizations, when someone makes a mistake, they are so scared to tell the management and so scared to tell the team members. So they don't even acknowledge their mistake. They try to blame others, etc., because they are just scared to be open and transparent. And by creating an artificial environment where you are trying to blame others, etc., it's not going to help in the long run. So vulnerability is that you feel safe to express your weakness. You are safe to express your mistakes. You feel safe to say that I don't know this. Help me out. You take help from each other, from other team members. So you have your strength, but everyone has their weakness. Okay. So if you are comfortable sharing your strength, authenticity is also that you are comfortable sharing your weakness. So that creates a very transparent atmosphere. And the leader needs to lead by example by being transparent, by admitting mistake when they make mistakes. Right? I was just sharing an example where one of the senior manager, very senior position, and he does not know Excel. He's not very comfortable with Excel, but he goes around pretending that he's very good with Excel. Right? It's very taxing. If you don't know Excel, why is the atmosphere not allowing this person to say that, yes, I know a little bit of Excel, but I'm not a master in Microsoft Excel, right? So if you can tell the truth, because this manager has so many other skills, right? So if a person is so scared to admit their weakness, that is not a healthy environment for a team to flourish, for a team to experience synergy. So being open and giving a honest feedback can create trust. Some of the surveys is, I feel uncomfortable admitting my mistakes. That means it's not a good atmosphere. Team members openly share weakness without fear of judgment. I trust my colleagues to support me when I need help. Yeah. So these are some of the questions that can reveal whether the team has team spirit or the team does not have team spirit. Right? So if a team member show avoidance behavior, if the team members are interacting to identify signs of vulnerability based trust, right? Is there a trust? Are they able to depend on each other or not there? You can observe a team and find out, okay, my team does not have that trust with each other. Okay. So where there's a trust, there's a we value differences. Our fingerprints are different. So we know that other people, their working style is different and their personalities are different, and we value that. Okay. We don't judge another person just because the other person is different. Okay. And we are, especially if we can share ourselves, if we understand ourselves, one of the exercises that a team leader can do is to ask people to share their life experiences, right? Especially Friday afternoon or a Saturday or something, you can have a meeting, and this has nothing to do with work, just sharing and listening to each other. This can create a lot of understanding and trust. A lot of activities which is nothing to do with work, team building activities can create a lot of trust, because the more we understand each other, the more we are able to trust each other, right? We are not willing to trust a stranger. So trust is something that is very important in teamwork, and a team leader can create an environment where people are able to trust each other, they're able to open each other, they are able to communicate and develop that trust with each other. Because once trust is there, a very good foundation has been laid for teamwork. That's the first level, right? So with this, before I go to the next level, we'll go for a small break and come. Okay, just 10 minutes. Let me see, 11:54. Can you come back by 12? A 6-minute break, just stretch yourself and come back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's go for a break and come back.
Okay.
Chat.
My PP. Okay, so we have seen trust, and a team leader needs to create that trust. Now everyone is able to trust each other. And we have seen some strategies how to create trust, how to create an environment where people are able to be transparent, authentically communicate. Now, when it comes to conflict, one is the artificial harmony. Artificial harmony is something that everyone is saying the politically correct statement, but nobody means by it. Okay, there are a lot of grudges. People go say behind the back, but they don't say it in the meeting. They don't say directly to you. Okay, so they smiles, everything is good, etc., etc. But everyone is wearing a mask. That does not create trust, and that does not create team spirit. So you can see on left side, artificial harmony. On the right side is mean-spirited personal attacks. Okay, so you attack the individual as a person itself. And people say, I'm just being straightforward. No, that is a very vicious attack at a personal level. And we don't want to encourage that as well. Okay, so we want healthy conflict. Healthy conflict is differences of ideas, difference of perspective. People have different approaches to doing a certain things. Some people are very detailed oriented. Some people want things to happen very, very fast. So people have different working style. People have different personality. Some people want to spend a little bit time on getting to know you personally. Some people are so work oriented. They don't want to spend any, they don't want to talk about at a personal level. They want, hey, have you done this job? Have you done that job? So people have different personality, people have different preferences, people have different ideas. And a healthy conflict is to recognize that one person wants the job to be done this way, another person wants to do the job this way. So this creates a conflict because there are two different approaches. Okay, so that has to be discussed. And a process can be set in such a way that the best idea is taken by the team. Okay, so conflicts are necessary because it helps us to deeply think about our own ideas. Okay, so people argue for their ideas. People present, this is why I'm thinking like this. The other person says, this is why I am thinking like this. But the discussion is on those ideas, those differing ideas. It is not personal and mean attacks. Okay, so you are very selfish. Though, no, not that kind of conflict. That's a very unhealthy type of a conflict. Okay, so fear of conflict is when you are scared to go and tell something to somebody, right? You have an issue with another person and you are scared. This person is going to scream, this person is going to shout, this person is going to treat me as an enemy. I'll have consequences. Then what happens is we suppress our thoughts, our feelings, we just suppress it. Let me not go and share because the other person is going to flare up. Okay, that is fear of conflict. You are scared to go and talk to that person. And if team itself is scared of each other, politically very sensitive environment, and you're so scared, should I say this? So there was a girl I met, a college going girl, and she was saying, just to talk to my boyfriend, I'm so scared because am I saying the right thing? Because today I express this and tomorrow he will use it against me. So just to speak to your boyfriend, this girl is so scared because it will be used against me. So what kind of a relationship between a boyfriend and a girlfriend where they are not able to speak to each other comfortably, where you are scared to open up your mouth because what if this is the other person gets hurt? What if the other person flares up? What if the other person uses against me? So we don't want to create an environment like that. We want people to feel free to express themselves, right? Team members who fear conflict spend time and energy to be nice to everyone and hold back their true opinions. Everyone agreeing with everyone else and avoiding real issue during meetings, right? So customer is not happy, but you are scared to go take it up in a meeting. So if I go and tell customers are not happy, they are going to say this as negative, I'll have consequences. So people just keep quiet. Okay, so that's not a good environment. If there is a problem, that problem needs to be brought it in a meeting or in one-to-one discussion. That problem needs to be opened and discussed and not just suppressed. Even some environment, some organization where there's a sexual harassment and the victim, the person who has gone through the harassment, who has suffered the harassment, is scared to open up. Because if I open up, I might lose the job. Why should a person lose the job because the person is sharing a real, genuine problem? Right? Because some environments just does not encourage, they just say, okay, we don't want to hear this. We only want to hear good news. Okay, so if you are going to say, I only want to hear good news, you are creating a artificial harmony. So what is the difference between a healthy conflict and unhealthy conflict? Yes. How do you differentiate it?
And healthy conflict will have a better outcome. And unhealthy conflict can lead to disaster. The outcome will be always bad.
Yeah.
Healthy conflict is having the open-mindedness to listen to the other person's views so that the pros and the cons of a situation can be weighed into. And unhealthy conflicts, like people are not willing to listen to the other person's point of view.
Yeah. So this is a question that I recently took a workshop and I was asked how to have a healthy conflict. Yes, Kamal.
Sir, good morning. Sir, I think healthy conflict is about solution and unhealthy is about the person.
Yeah. Yeah, so it is about the problem, it's about solution. So if you want to have healthy conflict, and even in an environment which does not encourage it, you can start with, so when you want to bring up a difficult topic which is uncomfortable for the other person, right? So you have a maid, she's not doing a good job, but you are scared to go and tell her, right? What if this maid stops coming? Okay, so I need to give a feedback to her because she's not doing a good job. But at the same time, if you give that feedback, you're not happy with her. But if you give the feedback, she will stop coming, or she will flare up. She's going to get angry, upset, etc. So how do you propose to bring up a difficult topic to another person? Yes. How do you bring up a difficult topic?
Tonicity of the voice and the way of presentation.
Yeah. So that's very important. Okay. So we want to maintain respect. We don't want to be, "Ah, you idiot." We don't want to go there. That's an unhealthy way of presenting it. So one of the most important thing is our body language, etc., has to show respect. Right? We have to show respect, and in our tone and in our behavior. So we don't want to approach the other person with a tone of voice that is disrespectful. Right? We don't want to use language that is very disrespectful. In one of the automobile company, I don't want to name it, but most of you have read the news that a supervisor used certain language which was very vulgar and very disrespectful. And the workers, they became so agitated because the supervisor was using that words. Finally, it led to a major fight, and they burned the HR department, the workers. Police had to come, the factory had to be shut down. So we don't want to be disrespectful. We don't want to be vulgar. We don't want to use curse words, right? We want to be respectful. We want to maintain a tone and behavior that is very respectful. Okay, but what do we speak for a healthy conflict? The
Respect
other
others.
person has a difference of opinion. Yes?
Respect others' model of the world. Accordingly, we have to use the words.
Yeah, so there is some issue, you want to bring up that issue. Maybe a team member is coming late every day, or maybe a team member is interrupting a meeting a lot of time, and you want to have this difficult conversation. So what do you bring up? What do you bring up to the other person?
Maybe talk about the issue, not attacking personally.
Yeah. So another thing is, we don't want to attack the person personally. Right? The person is an idiot, the person is an irresponsible person, right? Not attacking the person personally, right? You are an irresponsible person. That's attacking that person as a person, right? We want to focus on the behavior. We want to focus on the issue at hand. So what do we bring up? It starts with F. F-A. F-A-C.
Fact.
Facts. Okay, we want to bring up facts. Okay, so if somebody is coming late, we don't want to say you are irresponsible, you are an idiot, good for nothing. Okay, so we don't want to use such words. We want to bring up facts. Like, for example, out of 26 working days, 14 days you have come at this time, right? We want to present the facts. Okay, so whatever the issue, if profitability has gone down, we want to say this has been the profitability of the organization. This was the percentage, and right now this is the percentage. Right? And if you want to bring customer dissatisfaction, customer rating earlier used to be this, and now the rating has dropped to this level. So we want to bring the facts. Like a doctor says, your BP is at this level, your blood sugar is at this level. Those are facts. Facts, nobody gets triggered. Right? You may feel sad when you listen to your BP is very high or something. But you don't get angry with the person, the nurse, or the medical staff, or the doctor who has given you those numbers. Right? We don't get angry at all. We don't take it personally because we know it's an objective fact. So we are upset about our high BP, but we don't fight with the other person. Right? So you want to present the facts, and then you want to ask the other person, and you want to probably present some standards that is expected in an organization, right? A customer standards of this thing. And even there, you want to bring up the facts. And then you want to ask the other person a chance to speak, right? So what is your thoughts on this? So you want to present the facts, you want to ask the other person, what's your thoughts? You want to listen to that person with respect, right? You want to really get down to the bottom of this issue, right? You want to get to the bottom of the problem collaboratively. So how do we resolve this? So it is nice to start with facts and not attack a person personally, and don't go into wanting to tear that person apart. Start with facts, stay respectful. And there is a difference. There are issues that you need to discuss. And if you stay with facts, you allow the other person to speak. And even if the other person gets triggered, if you stay grounded, if you stay respectful, the other person will calm down. The other person will feel safe that, yes, we are discussing a problem. It is not a personal attack, right? And the person starts discussing this way. So I was presenting this in recently one program. They asked me, what if the other person starts in an unhealthy way, right? What if the other person starts attacking you personally? What if the other person starts in an unhealthy way, right? What is the answer to that?
Still keep cool. Still have the choice of getting engaged or not in a healthy way.
Yeah.
So still keep cool.
So there is a real problem, but the other person has started off with attacking you personally. You are an idiot. You don't have common sense, etc., etc. So the other person says you are an idiot, right? You don't have common sense. You don't have common sense. How can you do this? How can you do this? So silly of you. How can you do this? So they speak a lot. So in order to turn that into a healthy discussion, what do you need to do?
Though difficult, not to lose our balance and again bring back to
So
the
again,
fact.
it's very important that you stay respectful. The other person is triggered does not mean that you also get triggered, right? So you stay respectful in your tone and in your behavior, right? You stay respectful. You know the other person is upset. So you can acknowledge that. So you can say that you are upset, or you are hurt, or upset, whatever may be the right word. So you can acknowledge that there is a problem, right? But then in order to turn it into healthy, what do you need to do?
Keep yourself highly positive and show your empathy.
Yeah, so you can be empathetic to the other person, but in order to solve problem, you need something, right? There is a problem, just that the other person has used certain starting point by personal attacks, but there is a real problem. So in order to solve that problem, what do you need?
Can you explain more?
Yeah, so once the person explains more, what do you dig out?
What he undergoes inside mind.
Yeah, so all the statements are coming, but you keep listening and you dig out what? It starts with F.
Facts.
Excellent. You dig out facts.
What is the cause of his behavior? Why he is behaving such?
You dig out facts, and then you dig out the root cause, right? So you see your car has broken down, you are a mechanic. Sorry, somebody's car has broken down, you are a mechanic, and that person says, I bought this car, I paid 26 lakhs, and so what you will not, yes, you will acknowledge the other person is upset, but you're not going to spend a lot of time in that conversation. If you're a mechanic, where your focus will be? The car is not starting.
How to start the car?
How to start the car, because there is a real issue. Just that the other person is attacking you personally, other person is using a language, but still, the other person is upset. He bought a car, it's a new car, it's not starting, so the person is triggered, etc. But a professional mechanic will not give too much importance, will not go into an argument with that customer. He will not get into a verbal fight with the customer. His focus is how to start the car, how to solve the problem. He will acknowledge the customer is upset, but his mind will shift to the root cause, the fact of the matter. Okay, so you can turn an unhealthy conflict into a healthy one by focusing on the root cause, by focusing on because once you get to the facts, then you can go for a solution. So even if somebody else starts in an unhealthy way, you can turn that into healthy way by not getting triggered and taking those words seriously, but by focusing on the root cause, by focusing on the facts. So here, from facts, you can go into solution. So when you start a conflict, you start with facts. You stay respectful, right? From your side, you can have difficult conversation if you stay with facts. Don't attack the person personally. Allow the other person to speak, right? And then jointly collaboratively go for a solution. But if the other person starts in an unhealthy way, just acknowledge it, but don't spend a lot of time. Go down to facts and root cause. But once you have the facts in hand, you can look for a solution. So it is necessary that you handle conflict in a healthy way. Even if the other person doesn't have conflict management skill, if you have conflict management skills, you can discuss, okay, there is a problem, and what is the fact of the matter? What is the root cause? What is the solution? So be a solution-oriented person, be a problem solver, go down to the real crux of the problem and try to solve that problem. Yes, any questions? Yeah, so you need to have healthy conflict. Don't suppress your thoughts. Go and talk to another person if you have an issue. Don't suppress it. If the other person starts in an unhealthy way, turn that into a healthy conflict. So you need to have respect. You need to have curiosity, listening. You need to see both the plus and minus of an idea, right? Don't go into black and white thinking that I am right, the other person is wrong. No, be open. Have an open mind. And when you have an open mind, when you are able to go down to the crux of the matter, what is the crux of the matter? What is the root cause? And go for a solution. Don't take things personally, even if the other person is taking so. Right? The team has objectives, the team has a vision, the team has goals to achieve. Focus there. If it's a real problem, solve that problem collectively, collaboratively. Doesn't matter how the other person is thinking, how the other person is communicating. Right? When a person is triggered, they will say all kinds of things. Doesn't matter. What matters is, am I solving problem? Am I moving forward towards achieving the team's objective? Yes, Dilip.
Many times it depends on the opposite person, how he is. Howsoever, we don't want to enter in that conflict and all, but the opposite person has something like mentality or psychic need. I am correct. Whatever strategy I have given it, this is best and all. This it has to be implemented without ifs and buts and all, and the result is going to come. Ultimately, we know it because the result is not going to come because there is a strategy failure and all. But then he is not ready to listen it and all. So many people avoid that conflict. Say yes, yes, yes. They say yes, yes, yes. It all depends on the opposite person also, how much he has the listening capability.
Yeah. So
I feel so.
Yeah, in some cases we may not succeed. The other person is totally closed. But as we enhance our conflict management skills, as we enhance our influencing skills, we are able to break through a lot of people who have closed mind. Right? We are able to influence that person because we have high influencing skill and we have high conflict management skills. But we may not succeed with every person, right? But in most cases, we are able to break through. Even if the other person does not have skills, we are able to resolve a problem. So that's why if you can develop these skills, conflict management skills, it allows us to, so we also gain confidence that it's like a salesman who says that I can sell this because I am a good salesman. Similarly, a person who has developed conflict management skills can say, I can solve this conflict because I'm good at conflict management. Right? I don't run away from a conflict. I don't get triggered and become ugly and respond in a very unhealthy way. So even if the other person is responding that way, I do the right thing because I have developed the skills. Right? So that way you can handle most of the cases. Yes, there are sometimes we may not succeed at everything. Right? So one of the way that we can encourage different ideas, that even if you get an idea which you are excited about it, you yourself can become a devil's advocate. That means you can, like Charles Darwin, when he started believing in the theory of evolution, he himself kept a diary wanting to disapprove his own theory. That's a scientific mindset. Right? Because every idea has plus, every idea has minus. Just like every human being have their strength, every human being have their weakness. So by acknowledging both the sides and taking a decision based on merit, that's a kind of thinking that helps us resolve conflicts. So we want to invite, yes, I believe that this is something wonderful. But so I may say meditation is excellent, but there are some people who say, yeah, meditation is useless. And we are inviting those viewpoints, right? We don't get triggered by just because somebody has a different viewpoint. So I might like cricket and somebody may not like that game at all. Okay, so there are different viewpoints and we can invite different viewpoints and we don't get very personal about these viewpoints. Yes, this is my perspective, this is your perspective, right? And especially when someone brings in your team something like a problem which is difficult and nobody is opening up, but if a person opens up, that person needs to be rewarded, not suppressed. Like how Dilip was saying, he brings up a problem and the management suppresses him. But if you can reward that person, appreciate that person for bringing up to your attention some real problems, then you create a very open and transparent environment where people can even talk difficult issues. Okay, so when people are able to bring it to the table and discuss these difficult issues and resolve it and settle this, that team becomes very strong. Okay, bond develops that yes, we can handle this together. Okay, and meeting becomes very interesting. A lot of ideas are expressed, problems are solved, and critical topics are discussed. Okay, so at the foundation, you create trust, and then you create an environment where conflicts can be discussed and not suppressed. And this discussed in a healthy way, right? And the more you have those passionate debates, the more you have those brainstorming sessions where everybody is sharing their ideas and there's a lot of debate, the meeting becomes so interesting and everybody shares their ideas and finally you distill out the best ideas and people feel good. People feel good that they have participated, they have shared ideas, and they went through a process to distill the best ideas. Yes, that's the power of conflict, right? Okay. Any questions so far? Before we go to the third level. Hi, Sunil Kumar, Ramasamy. Yes, any questions? Can I go to the third level?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so if a team is not showing commitment, what can we do? The team does not show commitment. They say, okay, I will do it and all that. They don't deliver. They don't show any serious commitment. So there is a lack of how to overcome lack of commitment.
Bring them bring them to the discussion table.
Yeah, bring them to the discussion table.
Analyze their strength and weakness.
Let us
Analyze
motivate
strength and
them.
weakness.
Let us motivate them also. Give motivation.
Motivation may be lacking. Anything else?
Rewards and recognition.
Rewards and
Incentives.
recognition.
With incentives.
Incentive, etc. Rewards and recognition.
Maybe they are not engaged, involvement,
Yeah.
engagement.
Engaged. Right. Of course, the team needs to have trust. A team needs to be able to bring up conflicts and discuss them. Those are the foundational element. Lacking commitment is to be addressed because if commitment is not there, just imagine if a cricket team does not have commitment to win the World Cup. Okay, they are just doing it for the sake of doing it. The team is not serious about their deliverables. So it's very important that we create a sense of commitment. It's a leadership responsibility. Because the number one fact that will be affected if there's a lack of commitment. Productivity will go down. You will not be able to deliver on time. Even if you deliver on time, the quality may be lacking. Okay, so it's very important that everyone is committed to the team's objective. Okay, so there is there is a difference between interest and commitment. Yes, I will think about it, I will do it. And there's a difference when you commit. When you commit. There's a sense of seriousness, a sense of discipline, a sense of dedication that you bring it to the task as a team. Right? The team is very serious about achieving its objective in heart and in mind. Okay, so it's a commitment that comes from deep within that, yes, I need to deliver this. And as a team itself, it's very committed to delivering it. And one of the examples that we saw is the ISRO's Mars satellite launch, how ISRO came together, and there was a movie that was made that the whole team comes together and they're absolutely committed to succeeding in their endeavor, right? And it was so motivating for the whole country that with such a low budget, they are able to achieve it. Okay, so that was an excellent example. Another excellent example is Delhi Metro, when the whole team came together, and it's such a large public sector project, but everyone came together with a deep sense of commitment to complete the project on time and within budget, and they did that. So even such large scale project, we have seen a sense of dedication. And Delhi Metro is a public sector unit. ISRO is also a public sector unit, right? But they have shown such tremendous commitment, and commitment is absolutely essential for us to taste success. Yes, Rohan.
Sir, many of these examples what you gave, everywhere it's about how the leadership or the leaders bring these values to the team.
Yeah.
So it all depends on the leadership team and how they imbibe the values. If the leadership team is very weak on these things, then people might have a lot of commitments, but then it doesn't amplify.
Yeah. So primarily, one can see if you are a leader and if you want to build a team, and so these are the 5 elements that is needed to create a great team. So sometimes you may not be the senior management, but within your team you can create a sense of excellence. Dr. Stephen Covey used to say this as like islands of excellence. You start with that, and then you start influencing other departments, right? Even if you're a team member, you can be a source of inspiration to the whole team. So sometimes the change, not every time the change starts at the top. Sometimes the change starts at a team member level also. And one person is so committed and so dedicated that the whole team starts energized. Lagan is another movie. It's a movie. Chak De is another movie where they bring a sense of commitment. Initially, people were all not very serious, but then they completely commit to itself, right? Commitment is putting your heart and soul into something. So this is Vince Lombardi. And Kamal, can you please read this?
Yes, sir. Individual commitment to a group effort, that is what makes a team work. A company work, a society work, a civilization work.
Yeah. So you are part of a team, but you're absolutely committed, right? Whether your company is into interior design, whether you are a nurse and you're part of a surgery team, and as a nurse, you're completely committed. Your individual commitment to the patient's that success of that surgery, right? And when you are individually committed and every member is individually committed, then the possibility of success goes up in a very big way. Without commitment, we are not serious, and we make a lot of mistakes, quality suffers, and success becomes something which is like unreachable. So commitment is absolutely essential. So we can check, I'm the leader of my team. Is my team committed? Okay, what is stopping this team from being committed? So one thing that brings commitment is clarity and alignment. Okay, the team needs to have a clear idea of the team's vision, team's objective, team's purpose. That we are here and this is what we want to achieve. Because if there is no clarity, then there is no commitment. Right? If anything vague, we cannot be committed. Something which is very vague and which is not very clear. Can you give a genuine smile to someone who is in a fog and you can't even see that person clearly? right? You don't even know who that person is because the person is in a fog and nothing is clear. So somebody's showing you a hand, but you are not sure who it is. So you give an artificial smile. But when you recognize that person and oh, this is the person, oh, this is my school teacher, and you're so happy to see, and then you give a genuine smile. Your heart opens up. So clarity is very, very important for commitment. There cannot be an ambiguity. This is why we are here. This is what we want to achieve. These are the objectives. This is the vision. And every team member is aligned to that vision. If you're constructing a bridge or you're laying a roadways, you're building a tower, different organizations are into different lines. But there's a sense in East Ridharan, when he was constructing Delhi Metro, he was so excited about it because transportation is such a basic need. He said even the rich people will not travel in cars, they will come to metro. Right? This is so good for Delhi. This is so good for people. He had a sense of vision. He had a sense of purpose. He was absolutely dedicated and he could energize his team into that. And the whole team developed that clarity and commitment. Right? So why are we here? What is our objective? That has to be very clear. When it comes to allocating task, RASI is an excellent framework to allocate task. Kamal, can you just read this?
Yes, sir. RASI. R stands for responsible, the person who does the work to complete the task. A stands for accountable, the person who owns the task and ensures it is completed, only one per task. S is for supportive, individuals or teams who assist the responsible party in completing the task. And I is for informed, people who need to be kept updated on progress or decisions, but do not actively contribute to the task.
Okay, so every team member needs to be clear about their job. What are they here into, right? So responsibility is the person who owns the project, right? In IT industry, we say project owner. Okay, it could be a major banking project, etc. But he is responsible is to answer to the management, to answer to the customer. Okay, so he may have a lot of people under him, but he is the person who is responsible. So you should know, are you the owner of a project? Okay, so you need to take full responsibility for that project, success of that project. The person who is responsible may not be the one who is executing the task, right? He is the one who takes the responsibility and delegates to various experts. So accountable is the person who executes the task. He's supposed to deliver. He's supposed to execute, complete the task, right? Supportive person is someone who is not responsible for completion of a task, but to just help the other person, like a consultant, right? I'm supposed to make, say, Excel sheet or something. I take my wife's help to just help me create a table or a chart or something. So she comes in as a support. So that role clarity is very important. I'm here only to support. And informed is there are some stakeholders who needs to be kept informed. And a good team keeps the people who needs to be informed, timely updation is given to them. They don't have to ask you what's happening. You proactively keep updating them. This is the progress. This is, if you have faced some problem, you inform them, right? So these are people who are informed. So a project will be like this. Deliverable ones, project one, who is responsible, who is accountable, who is to be consulted, that is support, and who is to be informed. So RASI is a very good framework to bring that clarity, because if you don't know that what is your role, commitment will not come. Role clarity is absolutely essential for commitment, right? Is the person who is supposed to be responsible does not even take responsibility and says, my team is responsible to execute. No, you are responsible. You are the project owner, right? The person who is supposed to complete the task, he cannot be saying the supportive person did not do. No, you are the person who is responsible for completing the task. Okay, so this is an excellent framework. This brings a lot of clarity. So clear direction, why are we here? Everyone is aligned to the team's goal, right? Able to learn from mistakes, able to take advantage of opportunities, and confidently moving forward. All that creates a sense of commitment. So commitment is putting your heart and soul into something. And when a team does that, they become unstoppable. They just become unstoppable. Because in the heart of heart, they want this project to succeed. Right? They become very, very powerful. So a nurturing, positive environment where there's a trust, where people can be open and discuss things, and they're committed, it creates a wonderful, positive this thing, and commitment boost up. So we have created a strong foundation of trust. We are able to have a healthy conflicts, passionately discuss ideas, right? Disagree with each other. And there is a sense of commitment to achieve the objective. And on top of it is accountability. So what is accountability? Anyone, what do you understand from accountability?
Being answerable and taking responsibility.
Yes. You don't go into blame game. No, that person. You take responsibility, right? And you are answerable. That you have said you will deliver certain things, and you need to deliver that. You are answerable. Okay, you should take accountability. And this is absolutely essential. We need to have accountability built into a system. Sometimes even in personally, we say he's my accountability partner, because your commitment is, your heart is involved in it, but there has to be a sense of accountability for us to be absolutely serious about deliverables. Right? So we hold each other accountable for what we sign up to do. And so after all the discussion, as a team, we agree to do certain things, right? And there's a sense of commitment. There also needs to be another layer of accountability to ensure the successful completion of that project. So it's not just the boss asking you, it's a team member holding each other accountable. Have you done some drama or cultural show, etc., in your school or college where accountability does not come from teachers, but from your peers? Right? So you want to do a dance performance, or you want to do a theater, or you want to do a skit or something, and you practice day in and day out. I've gone through that experience, not in school and college, but in Zeal. And we used to have a cultural programs, and this was tremendous. And we used to practice like night 11 o'clock, and the security guard used to kick us out of Russian Cultural Center. And we used to be so dedicated, committed, and accountable that we were. And the accountability comes from our peers, our own colleagues. That's a healthy team. The boss is not the only person who asks you, have you delivered, have you completed? There's a sense of commitment from each other. Like a sports team, right? We want to win the match, and the accountability comes from each other. So if you're not doing your job, your own colleague will ask you what's happening, right? And they are able to discuss that and motivate that person. Okay, so we hold each other accountable, which is very essential. And when team member refuse to openly discuss problem of performance, now you don't question each other, you just suppress it. I'll just do my job. That is not team spirit. Okay, this is my job. I don't care about others. No, as a team, we have to hold each other accountable. Just like how we played sports, a sports match, or did cultural show, we held each other that we have to succeed as a team. Same spirit we have to bring it for the project that we are taken up, right? So there is a fear of damaging relationship. There is an unclear expectation and goal, lack of peer-to-peer feedback culture. We should be able to see, my wife gives me feedback, I give her feedback. We are very open about each other, and that's healthy for a relationship, right? We need to give feedback in a respectful way to each other. We need to support each other. Somebody may have personal problem because of which work gets affected. So we have to be empathetic. At the same time, we have to be accountable. Okay, so maybe somebody is not well and you can take up the other person becomes all right, then today you are not in a good mood. So the team can support each other, but each person is responsible and accountable. Okay, so do team members expect good work from each other? Does the team identify themselves as a high-performing team? Are team members ask for better, push each other, motivate each other? And how I, as a manager, define clear standards of performance and behavior. Right? These are very essential for a healthy team. Otherwise, what happens is one person is doing too much job, one person is not doing anything. There's a very low standard, quality gets affected, unclear expectation, tension. I remember going to I don't want to name the place, but I went for a car service and it was so horrible. And later I found everyone has so many issues with each other as well. So the customer suffers. Okay, the standards goes down because there's no accountability. Okay, so it's not necessary the boss has to be present for accountability. The team is accountable for each other. So any other idea how to create accountability in teams? Any other ideas? Okay, clear standards
kind
of
of
performance, feedback. Yes.
Some kind of a constructive competition.
Yes. A constructive competition would be, you can create a healthy competition, a constructive competition, right? I used to go for jogging alone, and then a friend of mine class in school, right? I used to jog, and there's a friend of mine who joined with me, and we used to have a kind of a healthy competition. Who will run more? And both of us exceeded our own expectation that I thought this is maximum I can do. But because of this healthy competitive spirit, I was able to cross my own limits. I thought this is maximum I can do, but I crossed that because we had a healthy competition, right? Each challenging each other, right? Even sometimes we go to a gym and a friend starts challenges us. Okay, let's do who can do more push-ups. And then we are able to do much more. Yeah, so we can create healthy, we can challenge each other, we can motivate each other. Okay, so that we can bring out the best in each other.
Have a standard operating procedure.
Yeah, you can have a certain processes that helps you to actualize yourself. Kamal, can you also just read this?
Yes, sir. Accountability. Henry Evans, the author of Winning with Accountability, says accountability is clear commitments that, in the eyes of others, have been kept.
So the other person says you have kept your promise, not you. Okay, this is an excellent book, I would suggest. Winning with Accountability, right? The other person says you have kept your promise because that's real accountability. Okay, so it is honoring your words, it is delivering what you have committed and taking responsibility. And in some cases where you fail, you apologize and you learn and you improve and then you correct yourself. Because not every time, sometimes you may be able to deliver, but you learn and then correct yourself. So setting clear standards, regular progress review and feedback, the team can discuss where are we, this is what we want to achieve, right? You can create some consequences and you can celebrate team wins. Okay, so a sense of commitment, a sense of accountability that we are here as a team to touch excellence and to create great services or great products. So the last one is results. And this is something that, especially in some organizations, everyone has their own agenda, right? So a professor like wanting to publish their book and not taking classes and not involved in the university, but focused on publishing and promoting themselves. So a lot of people have their own agendas and that can derail attention. So inattention to result. As a team, we have to focus on the attention. Even in a cricket team, I will score my century. I don't care whether the team wins or not. Right? So every team member should be committed, like every cricket player is committed that we have to win the World Cup. Every player is committed to the team's goal, not your individual personal agenda. Okay, so success of a team is to be, the focus has to be what is the result we are expected as a team. So in school, everyone focuses on individual performance. What if it is changed to collectively the class, what is the marks that you are getting? The whole thing will change, right? So what matters is the corporates, when they come for recruitment, they see the entire class performance. and they don't see individual performance. So the whole system will change. Then everyone starts helping each other, everyone starts motivating each other, right? The whole team spirit will come because the collective success is more important than our personal aspirations. So you can create, as a team leader, create that collective sense of wanting to achieve this team success. Okay, align your personal goals with the team goals, and the team is committed to achieving results. So instead of letting personal egos rule, right, and no definition for team success, resourcing decisions that are not optimal, the whole team is focused on the team's objective. Like when they were constructing Delhi Metro, personal ego didn't matter. Success of the Delhi Metro project mattered. Right? So that is what creates a sense of team spirit, that we are here together. We are all different professional. You are a civil engineer. I'm this specialization. I am that specialization. They all come together, work together to make the project a success. Konkan Railway was another great success story. Right? It got so many awards. That project has got so many awards because the whole team could come together to achieve success. So focusing on result, what is success? Clear, measurable outcomes. What is the outcome expected? Right? Regularly reviewing progress towards team goals to maintain accountability. And celebrating that. Team success has to be celebrated. Yes, individually also you can reward, etc. That has to be, that also has to go along. But team success needs to be celebrated. Right? So when India wins, we celebrate, right? So similarly, any people of any country, when their country wins a trophy or something in sports, they celebrate. And so similarly, the whole success of the team also needs to be celebrated, and not just individual success. Right? So we have to continuously, as a team leader, reinforce the team's success. Kamal, just 2 more slides. I'm towards the end.
Yes, yes. Michael Jordan says, talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships.
Yeah. As an individual, I can only do so much, but if I'm part of a great team, wonders can happen. Some of the greatest work that you see, greatest innovations, it's all result of a teamwork. We speak about Wright brothers, it was a team. Harley Davidson, it was a team. Yeah, so some of the greatest innovation has come from team. It brings out the best in us. An individual can only go so much, but a team can do even things that are impossible. The last quote, teamwork is a secret that makes common people achieve uncommon results. So the greatest strength, of course, sometimes I say our ability to think is our greatest strength, but even beyond that, our ability to work as a team is the greatest strength that we human beings have. Right? When a lion gets into a village, the whole villagers will come together as a team. And that's our strength, that we are able to come together, work together, and innovate together and achieve success together. Okay, so it's a great skill, team building skills, being a team player, conflict management skills. These are skills that is essential for every leader, every corporate executives. So this is the model. It's an excellent model that Patrick Lencioni has created, building trust, openly discussing conflict and resolving them, developing a sense of commitment, holding each other accountable, and focusing on result. Success is guaranteed. You become unstoppable. You are a great team and you feel, wow, I want to go to work. Right? J.R.D. Tata used to wait for Mondays. He's not happy with Sunday. He used to wait for Monday because he used to enjoy going to office. So similarly, if you have a great team, you want to go to office on Mondays. Mondays become very exciting. Yeah. So that's the presentation on Lencioni's teamwork model. It's an excellent model. It's absolutely essential for every leader and every corporate executive to understand this, work as a team, and achieve greatness. So with this, we have come to the conclusion. Any questions? Yeah.
Manoj, can you go to that last whiteboard?
Oh, this has not saved. Sorry.
Okay. Second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go out, and it need not be, even if you're not working in a corporate, we are always in some team or the other, right? And group captain was saying about being part of a Rotary. That's a team. And wherever you are, be a source of inspiration, contribute to the team success, because there are people, wherever they go, they bring down this team spirit, they create unnecessary issues. But you be a problem solver, you be a source of inspiration, wherever you are, whether you're at family, that's a team, right? Whether you go to a sports event, that's, you are part of a team. So wherever you are, be a source of inspiration and solve problems when they come up. Create an atmosphere where people are authentic. Don't take things personally. Even if things are, others are taken personally, you can transform that to actual healthy discussion and solve problems and focus on achieving great things in life. Life is beautiful. So with this, thanks for coming and have a great
Thank you so much,
Monday.
sir. Thanks a ton. And I'm sure today's, all kinds of techniques, tips you have given will help me to function better as a president of Rotary Club. I'm surely certain.
So thank you all. Have a happy Sunday.